What's up everyone, this is CyberKnight 8610, and today we have an episode of Please Print. Today we're going to be talking about Timelords, or Temporal Machine Gods, as they were also called. I decided to do this video in a little bit different style, kind of like how we did the top 10 video, because I'm going to be reading off a lot of different monster effects and stuff, and whenever I do that on camera, I feel like I'm always, I'm always having to look down and read off the effects and stuff, so I kind of hate doing that, especially with so many monster effects. I feel bad for, like, looking down instead of at the camera and reading at those. So, for this video, I wanted to try to do it in this style. If you guys prefer this style over the other, then in the future we'll just use this style. If not, I mean, I'm kind of planning on not staying with this style anyway, unless you guys just happen to really enjoy it, but more than likely the next Please Print and future ones will be in a different style, unless we just have a bunch of effects to read, like this one, because there's quite a few cards to talk about, actually, in this episode. Timelords were a pretty big archetype, and one that I think could be printed. Of course, like most cards that are from the anime or manga, their effects would have to be changed up a little bit, but I can see these actually working. We already have 2 of them printed, too, so why not? Also, these are, some boss monsters used by Zone, the final villain of 5Ds. So I guess, spoiler, if you haven't seen that, all of you should have. I mean, 5Ds is actually one of the best storylines of all the Yu-Gi-Oh series. And, yeah, let's go ahead and talk about these cards and see if they deserve to be printed or not. Alright, first off we have Razion the Time Lord. This one is a fire attribute fairy type, level 10, 0 attack and 0 defense. Also, does it kind of look like Gozobo Rokaba? To anyone else? Because it really does. Or some kind of, I don't know, he looks like he has armor or something on his head as well. I don't know. Just such creepy faces on these guys. Anyway, for its effect, we're going to be going with the Attack Force 6 effects instead of the anime effects, because I feel they're a little bit more realistic. So, here we go. Cannot be special summoned from the deck. If you control no monsters, you can normal summon this card without tributing. This card cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. You take no battle damage from battles involving this face-up attack position card. At the end of the battle phase, if this card attacked or was attacked, return all cards in your opponent's graveyard to the deck. When your opponent draws a card, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. During your standby phase, shuffle this card into the deck. So yeah, basically on this card, what's cool about it is that whenever it is attacked, or if it attacks, then you're able to return all the cards in your opponent's graveyard to the deck. That, in some ways, can kind of help them, but I guess against certain decks it would also hurt. Maybe, I don't know, it could be Lightsworns or something, and they're trying to bring out Judgment Dragon. Well, you get rid of the Lightsworns in the graveyard and stuff, so they can't bring it out. Or maybe, there's a few other decks, too, that would work against, but that's just kind of one I'm thinking off the top of my head. So yeah, I can see that helping out a little bit, but it's not really one of my favorite Time Lords for that reason. I don't like its effect as much as some of the others. Although, I guess because it is a fire attribute, it also has a little bit of a burn effect, too, for whenever your opponent draws a card and inflict 500 damage to your opponent. That's pretty cool. It's not a whole lot of damage, but it's kind of something. I'm kind of surprised it's not a little bit more overpowered. In the anime, though, it is 1,000 damage, so that makes a little bit more sense, because in the anime, everything is much scarier. After that, we have Zephie the Time Lord. Anyway, it is a water fairy, level 10, 0 attack, 0 defense, and its effect is, cannot be special summoned from the deck. If you control no monsters, you can normal summon this card without tributing. This card cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. You take no battle damage from battles involving this face-up attack position card. At the end of the battle phase, if this card attacked or was attacked, you can just shuffle all spell and trap cards your opponent controls into the deck. During your standby phase, shuffle this card into the deck. This card is one of my favorites of the Time Lords. First off, I really like that work, although I still gotta say, I know I keep talking about it, but those faces, they just, I don't know if they're like souls trapped, or it just looks kind of creepy. The art design's always been really awesome, though, with these. Another reason why they should be printed, just for the art style alone, I want these cards, and that's saying something. But the effects have always been pretty good as well, as we've seen with this one. This is one of the more useful cards, I would say, just because it's able to get rid of all spells and trap cards on the field. That can hurt a lot of different decks out there, just because you get rid of a lot of problematic cards. Although with my luck, they'll just redraw that Mirror Force or Fiendish Chain or, whatever's out there. Because that will always happen to me. That's why sometimes I wonder if it would be better to just destroy the cards instead of returning. But I gotta say, I really do like this Time Lord. It's gotta be one of my favorites in art design as well as effect. And now we have the Wind attribute Time Lord, which is Zadi the Time Lord. This one is, of course, a Wind attribute, like I said, fairy type, level 10, 0 attack, 0 defense. Its effect is, it cannot be special summoned from the deck. If you control no monsters, you can normal summon this card without tributing. This card cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. You take no battle damage from battles involving this face-up attack position card. At the end of the battle phase, if this card attacked or was attacked, and your life points are lower than 4,000, your life points become 4,000. You cannot summon monsters during your standby phase. Shuffle this card to the deck. So, yeah, this one kind of gives you life points back, which is pretty cool. If you have anything, lower life points than 4,000, it will actually just turn your life points to 4,000. That can really come in handy. It's, I guess, a lot scarier in the anime since, they duel with 4,000 life points instead of 8,000 like we do in real life. So I can see it, of course, being more useful on that. I could see this one, being like a card that will probably be teched, if not just used at 1 or something. But it's still a cool addition to Timelords nonetheless. Now for the Earth Time Lord, we have Camion the Time Lord. Again, fairy, level 10, 0 attack, 0 defense. I mean, if you haven't caught on, that's pretty much what they all are, but I just keep repeating myself anyway. Anyway, here is the effect of this one. It cannot be special summoned from the deck. If you control no monsters, you can normal summon this card without tributing. This card cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. You take no battle damage from battles involving this face-up attack position card. At the end of the battle phase, if this card attacked or was attacked, target one monster your opponent controls, shuffle that target into the deck, then inflict 500 damage to your opponent. During your standby phase, shuffle this card into the deck, even if face down. It's able to just get rid of monsters and shuffle them into the deck. And also inflict 500 damage. I mean, if more insult to injury, right? Definitely one of the better Time Lords, I would say, and yeah, I mean, it's pretty basic. What more can I say about this card? You get rid of problematic monsters on the field and inflict some damage to them. So it looks like Zadi wasn't the only wind attribute Time Lord. This one is Raphion the Time Lord, which is, of course, wind, fairy, level 10, 0 attack, 0 defense. Its effect is it cannot be special summoned from the deck. If you control no monsters, you can normal summon this card without tributing. This card cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. You take no battle damage from battles involving this face-up attack position card. After damage calculation, if this card battled a monster, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attack of that monster. During your standby phase, shuffle this card into the deck. So basically, Yugioh decided to join the 5Ds cast and become a Time Lord. Or that's what it reminds me of the most, anyway. I gotta say, this is one of the better ones yet again. This is just being able to, if your opponent has a really powerful monster in their field, they think they really had this duel, like it is in their control and everything, and you're like, nope, I'll just summon this and then send all that attack right back at you and just maybe even win the duel instantly. I mean, it just depends how strong the monster is. There's so many decks out there that can have, thousands and thousands of attack monsters. I mean, just crazy, over 4,000 to 5,000. So just send all that damage right back to them. Next up is Herron the Time Lord. This one is another Earth Fairy, level 10, 0 attack, 0 defense. I believe, too, it's the only one that has 4 arms, so that's kind of different. Looks actually pretty cool. Anyway, here's its effect. It cannot be special summoned from the deck. If you control no monsters, you can normal summon this card without tributing. This card cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. Neither player takes any battle damage from battles involving this face-up attack position card. At the end of the battle phase, if this card attacked or was attacked and your life points are different from your opponent's life points, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the different. You cannot summon monsters during your standby phase. Shuffle this card into the deck. This Time Lord has one of the scariest abilities of all of them, being able to inflict damage to your opponent equal to the difference of your life points. If there's a big difference in life points, you just inflicted a lot of damage. I mean, it could actually win a duel that easy. It reminds me a lot, too, of, like, Ancient Sacred Wyvern or Air Neos, in a way as well. How they would actually gain attack instead of just doing the damage. But that's what it kind of reminds me of the most on that type of effect. But yeah, just inflicting the damage right away, that's actually a really scary effect. This might make it one of the stronger Time Lords, I have to say. Next up is Mikion the Time Lord, or I think that's how you pronounce its name. Did also Herron take the arms from this card? Because this is the only Time Lord without arms. That's kind of weird. Maybe that's the reason she has an extra set of arms. She just stole his arms away. Anyway, it is a fire attribute fairy, level 10, 0 attack, 0 defense, and its effect is it cannot be special summoned from the deck. If you control no monsters, you can normal summon this card without tributing. This card cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. You take no battle damage from battles involving this face-up attack position card. At the end of the battle phase, if this card attacked or was attacked, half your opponent's life points. During the standby phase, shuffle this card into the deck. So yeah, basically, you just get to just half their life points. What more can you say about that? I mean, do I need to say much about that? That just does a lot of damage right there. It could combo great with Herron as well, which the other one we just talked about. And yeah, I guess maybe there is something to that in their artworks, how one has an extra set of arms and the other doesn't have any arms, because they could actually combo pretty well. Here's another water attribute Time Lord, and that is Gabrielle the Time Lord. Again, Water Fairy, level 10, 0 attack, 0 defense. Its effect is it cannot be special summoned from the deck. If you control no monsters, you can normal summon this card without tributing. This card cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. You take no battle damage from battles involving this attack position card. At the end of the battle phase, if this card attacked or was attacked, you can target one card your opponent controls, shuffle that target into the deck. During your standby phase, shuffle this card into the deck even if face down. Again, it's another one of those that sort of, just gets rid of one card on the field and then shuffles it into the deck. I like how it's just one card too, and not just like monster or something. So I can get rid of some other problematic cards too that are out there, any kind of continuous cards, field spells, whatever, and just get rid of them, not just monsters. This is more of a realistic card too. I mean, I can see this actually having this effect, unlike a few of the others we've talked about. So yeah, I don't think they're really gonna have to change this one if it was actually printed. And our last Time Lord is Sandion the Time Lord. Again, I believe that's how you say it. Not really sure on this one. This one, though, is actually a little bit different from the others in that it is a light attribute fairy, level 10, 4,000 attack, not 0 attack this time, and 0 defense. Its effect is it cannot be special summoned from the deck. If you control no monsters, you can normal summon this card without tributing. This card cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. The player takes any battle damage from battles involving this face-up attack position card. At the end of the battle phase, this card attacked or was attacked, inflict 2,000 damage to your opponent. During your standby phase, shuffle this card into the deck. So, even though it has that high of an attack, in some ways it really doesn't matter. I guess it's able to destroy cards, but neither player still takes any damage from it. So, but the good thing is, though, that if it attacks or was attacked, then you can still inflict 2,000 damage to your opponent. So, not too bad. It just seems a little weird for something to have 4,000. I was hoping that it would actually do damage unlike the others, but unfortunately, it still has that part of the effect where it won't do any battle damage. But like I said, I guess it's just there to get rid of problematic monsters and inflict the good, 2,000 damage, which is very good. In the anime, I believe that it did like 4,000 damage. So that would be a little bit more overpowered. This one, I can see as, in terms of these cards, being a lot more playable and a little bit more realistic too. And those were the Time Lords that I believe should be printed. Of course, we already have Metallon and Sylveon, which have already been printed. Sylveon actually is like the main one as well, which is kind of weird. And Metallon actually follows a little bit more in suit with the cards we talked about today. Of course, a lot of these cards would have to change. There's a few here and there that can actually keep their effects, I think, and just be printed, but I'm sure a few of them would have to be changed because, yeah, more than half, I think, are a little bit broken. But with Dragons of Legend and other card sets coming out too, I would love to see more of these types of, anime cards. I think this is a great archetype. It's actually a well thought out one too. You don't see that too much in the Yu-Gi-Oh series, especially an actual, that many cards in one archetype and by a main villain. Usually they only have like 1 or 2 main cards and that's about it. As always, though, thank you for watching. Remember to come right and subscribe. Tell me what other cards that should be printed. There are plenty of cards in the anime and the manga and everything that really should be printed. And let's hope that we're going to see a lot of different cards we're going to be talking about lately and Dragons of Legend. And also, if you really enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We do lots of openings. I'm planning to do more duels, deck profiles, please prints. I mean, there's all kinds of different stuff. And I hope you'll enjoy my future videos and subscribe.